Hey guys, what's up? Sorry. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing a presidential election prediction, or where we characterize the states, not an election night, just a prediction. So, yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this, and get started without further ado. Okay, so we're going to characterize our safe states first. Washington, Oregon. Oregon could be likely, if we're talking about likely being, you know, 5 to 15 point margin. I could see it being like, 13, 12 point win for Biden, but I characterize likely states as 5 to 12 point wins for the respective parties. So, yeah, I think Oregon. Well, my model says Oregon's going to go to Biden by 13 to 16 points, which just falls into the category of safe. California's going to be safe. Now, an interesting call that not a lot of people agree with me on: Colorado. So most people characterize Colorado and New Mexico together. Like, some people say they're both safe, some say they're both likely. I say that Colorado is a safe blue state because when we look at sorry, let's look at the polling data. All right, so let's see if I can find it in Colorado. Um, let's see, Colorado. Biden plus 17, Hickenlooper plus 11. So, yeah, pretty big margins for the Democrats there. JHK forecasts gives Joe Biden a 97% chance of winning Colorado, which is about right. And again, sorry, wrong tab. Colorado, according to Civics, which updates their data every day, Colorado net negative 25 net approval. So he has a 60% disapproval rate in Colorado. That's very bad. Plus, he has a very unpopular senator running with him who is probably going to be relying on Trump, and they're going to rely on each other. So that's not good news for Trump. And Biden is Hillary Clinton won this state in 2016, and I say this with a lot of confidence that if voters are willing to turn out for Hillary Clinton, they're going to turn out for anyone. So, all right, Hawaii's going to be safe. Why does it not want me to characterize this? Okay. Yapham's was frozen. There we go. My bad. I hope that didn't glitch out because that's weird. Illinois is going to be safe, although it is trending to the right a little bit. All these, not Virginia, but all these New England states are safe for the Democratic Party. Delaware was somewhat narrow 20 years ago. Now it's not really anymore. I don't believe the New Hampshire is safe, but I believe that Maine at large and Maine's first district will be safe, as will the state of New York. So that's 194 safe electoral votes to the Democrats. Utah's going to be safe. There was a poll that came out that I do have to show you guys that put Trump only ahead by 3. Yeah, here it was. It was late May. But I don't expect Utah to be that competitive. Idaho and Wyoming. Now, Montana could be competitive, seeing as Civics does give Trump a -3 approval there, but I don't really buy that, seeing as JHK forecasts give Biden only a 6% chance of winning Montana, and the fact that Trump did win this very easily in 2016. Now, Steve Bullock could help Joe Biden make it a likely margin, but it'll still be safe for Donald Trump. All the data points there. Now, I do know a lot of Montana. I do know a lot of Democrats there who go for Trump at the presidential level. They're voting Bullock, and they voted for John Tester. But yeah, I don't expect Montana to be that close, Kate. Now, all of Nebraska except for the second district. Kansas is going to be safe. I know that Civics says Trump is only like plus 3 in Kansas. Yeah, but I still think it'll be safe. As will Arkansas, as will Louisiana. Tennessee's going to be safe. Alabama's going to be safe. Kentucky's going to be safe, and so is West Virginia. Now, I do want to say that Missouri's going to be likely, and I guess what it is likely, but it could easily be safe. Alaska, I'm not going to say that Alaska is safe because of, first of all, Trump does not have great approval there. Second, Alaska, JHK forecast is giving Biden I remember first checking here, he had like a 3% chance of winning. Now he's at 12%. So I'm not going to characterize that as safe. It'll probably be likely though. Okay, so now the easiest to point at is New Mexico. Now, New Mexico. All right, so New Mexico is weird because in 2016, I'm not sure what it was, but 2016 New Mexico, yeah, I think Gary Johnson got like 9% of the vote. So we got 9% of the vote, and libertarians are conservatives at heart. So a lot of the voters are either going to go for Joe Jorgensen again, or just switch over to Donald Trump, which is not good news for the Democrats. However, this is a very liberal state that has almost a half Hispanic population, and as we know, Hispanics went in the midterms, over 3 of every 4 Hispanics went for a Democratic candidate. So yeah, that's not good news for the Republicans. And all the data suggests that New Mexico is going to be bad for Donald Trump. And he says in play, I think that if they want to run a smart campaign, they should not campaign in New Mexico. You can see Biden plus 14, Ben Ray Lujan plus 14. There was a poll that came out that had Harrell ahead by 2 over Torres Small, and Harrell's probably going to win that race, to be honest with you. All right, so now we're going to go over to Minnesota, which I also believe is likely. It was a tilt margin for Hillary Clinton in 2016, but again, she had no appeal to these voters, and yet she still won Minnesota, which is actually pretty incredible to me. And I think that if she ran again, she would lose Minnesota, to be honest with you. But Joe Biden has all the appeal in the world to these voters. Donald Trump has never even been popular in Minnesota. Negative 20% net approval. Let's look at the polling data there, and yeah, so it's all bad news, except for that House poll. All bad news for the Democrats. 16 was 15. Klobuchar over New. Why are they polling? That was the Senate race in 2018. I don't know why they're polling that. All right. So, anyways, the point is that Minnesota does not spell out good news for the Republicans. They don't need to win Minnesota. They need to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, Texas, Arizona. But I mean, at the end of the day, Minnesota is probably the most blue Rust Belt state. So yeah, it's safe to say that Joe Biden is the favorite there. The one good metric for the Republicans in Minnesota is that in 2019 they did net gain in voter registration. So there were yeah, but again, voter registration doesn't matter. There are more registered Democrats in Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana than Republicans. There are more registered Democrats than Republicans in Kentucky and Ohio. There are more registered Democrats than Republicans in I believe, Texas. There are more registered Democrats than Republicans in West Virginia, and there are more registered Republicans in Virginia than there are Democrats. So, yeah, party registration isn't really a good way to measure that kind of thing, or like to predict elections. Also, why is Indiana not safe? That's weird. My bad. So, yeah, Minnesota could be red in 10 years from now, but it's not going to be red right now. Michigan is interesting because Michigan is more diverse than Minnesota, which I thought in 2016, I thought the Michigan, like, I thought Michigan was going to be closer than Minnesota was. Or, sorry, I thought Minnesota was going to be closer than Michigan was because diversity is always good for the Democratic Party. In Michigan, it is much more diverse than Minnesota. They have a huge voting block of black voters, and even a lot of people close to Trump say that he's probably going to lose Michigan, which is the first flip of this video. So, yeah, Michigan does not spell out great news for the Democrats. Okay, now we're going to go to the state of Virginia, where this could be safe, could be even lean. The one piece of good news for the Republicans was that Donald Trump, he made it pretty close in 2016, even though Hillary Clinton's running mate, Tim Kaine, um, he's a senator from Virginia, so yeah. But other than that, it is rapidly trending to the left. You have a lot of Democrats coming over from California, from the West Coast, spreading their influence to the state of Virginia, and it'll probably stay with the Democrats, to be honest. So, yes. Okay, now, where are the Republicans getting their likely states from? Now, first we have to talk about Alaska, which, similar to Montana, could be safe or likely. It'll probably be likely, though. In Montana's probably going to be safe, but not a ton of polling data. There was a poll for the Alaska House race, I believe, that came out. Oh, added today. Wow, that's actually really interesting. I didn't know that. There's a House poll that came out that had Galvin plus 1 over Don Young, and I think that At least Galvin is probably going to be the next congresswoman from Alaska. But yeah, that's interesting that there's a poll that puts Sullivan ahead by 5 over Gross, but we have a lot of undecided voters. And Trump Trump only plus 3 in Alaska. That's that's something. That'll be a lean margin. So yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, is that public policy polling? Yeah, there are B-rate polls. So they're decent. Okay, now we're gonna go to the Republican likely states. Yeah. Now I hate to do this because the data, like, I was like, the data suggests it's a lot closer, but I don't see Texas budging. I mean, honestly, even in a high point for the Democrats right now, JTK forecast doesn't even give them a 1 in 3 shot at winning Texas, and this is the same forecast that has them winning in Iowa and Georgia. So yeah, again, not especially good stuff for the Democrats. I want to see the RCP betting odds really quickly. And yeah, so Biden was at a low point. Well, I mean, like, he was at a low point even then, but he still has a huge lead, 7.2, and now he's back up to where he usually is. All right, so I just want to check on that. But Texas, all the data like says it'll be a lot closer than that, but I really don't see it budging. I mean, this is a state where there's going to be voter suppression. I mean, there was a poll that came out that had Biden ahead by 2. Also, John Cornyn, who's a popular incumbent senator, is only going to help Trump. So my common sense is telling me that Trump's going to win Texas by a likely margin. Could be lean, but I'm going to go with likely. Same with Mississippi. Now, Mississippi is of these likely states could put the furthest to the right. Could be Missouri as well, but Mississippi going to be a lot of voter suppression there, and in black voters who in the midterms 90% of the black vote went to Democrats down ballot. So not yes, there is Black Lives Matter has had a resurgence, but again, when people are scared of voting, that's not great news for turnout for the Democrats in Mississippi. Same with South Carolina. Now, South Carolina is probably going to be closer than Mississippi. I do know someone who thinks that Joe Biden is going to win South Carolina. I strongly disagree with that. But yeah, South Carolina is it'll stay with Trump. Could be a swing state in 20 years from now, but I don't think it'll be close in 2020. In 2016, it was a safe red state. I think it'll move down to likely because, again, high turnout year and just demographic trends. All right, so now lastly, Missouri, which, Missouri, it was a bellwether state 20 years ago, kind of has faded in that way. And there was a poll that came out of Missouri that did put Biden only, or put Trump ahead by only a little bit. Oh, Biden plus 2, wow. That is something. All right, so that is Trump plus, yeah. So there was a poll that came out on June 30th that had Biden ahead by 2. Yeah, I don't trust that poll. Biden should never even in a horrible low point for President Trump, kind of like we're seeing right now. Missouri should not be going to the Biden campaign. Let's see what the pollster. So it's a BC. Yeah, that's interesting. So they put Parson ahead by 7, the Biden ahead by 2. That's something to watch, but I don't think that it'll be close, really. All right, so now we're going to go over to the lean Democratic states, and a lot of people disagree with this, but I think that Nevada is going to be pretty close. I mean, yes, Donald Trump did call it a drug-infested den, which is not good for him. But again, we're probably going to see higher turnout from Latinos. Again, not good for Trump. However, the Republican Nevada did vote to the right of the country in the midterms in a D+9 year in 2018. So again, that's kind of a iffy stat because it was a D+9 year. In Nevada, it was like D+7. But again, something to watch. Also, for those of you who remember Dean Heller, he was the incumbent senator from Nevada, very unpopular. He still he made that race with Jackie Rosen pretty competitive. So I do think that Nevada for sure could be likely. And if Donald Trump does continue this skid further into the election cycle, I could consider putting in likely. But as of right now, I don't think it'll be that big of a win for Joe Biden. However, it'll still be a win for him. And really, I don't see Trump winning this state. but it could be close. Okay, Arizona. I used to characterize that as tilt, but we're moving it to the lead column. This is because literally every single pollster, except for that one poll that came out that had McSally had by 4, which only wasn't true. Trump and McSally was 4. It was gravest marketing, not a high quality poll, but two polls came out that had Kelly ahead, and there had Kelly ahead. Biden, Trump plus 4, Kelly ahead. And having Mark Kelly on the ballot only helps Joe Biden. There was one that came out of Change Research that put Trump ahead. But other than that, it's been all Biden, Kelly, and then Trump plus 3. But that was back in March. So, yes. And in demographic trends, high turnout year, plus the fact that in 2018, the polls, all these polls that they're showing the very good signs for the Democrats, they had Martha McSally winning that race. So, what does that mean? They underestimate Democrats. And that's very good news for the Democrats. All right. So, yeah, now we're going to go over to where are we going to go next? All right. I think, oh yeah, Pennsylvania. These are where we're going to go next. Now, as you can see, the Democrats have crossed 250 or not 250, 270. So I seriously don't think that Pennsylvania is going to be as big of a margin for Biden as something. Some people think that 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 it'll be likely. I don't think that, but I'm moving this from tilt to lean, and this is because I feel like I was ignoring the data. And the data suggests that Biden wins by a likely margin. Biden. This is a Scott Kelly poll, and not the brother of Mark Kelly. He's a congressman, but Biden. Perry, or so it's Anthony DePasquale versus Perry. So that'll be an interesting House race. I don't think that. I think DePasquale is going to win, but yeah. So yeah, Biden consistently ahead, and then there was one poll, Change Research. They redid this poll 2 weeks later and put Biden ahead, and they admitted it was a rigged poll for Trump. And then in Pennsylvania, he's net negative 11. I seriously doubt that Biden's going to win that by 11. But again, Trump has only lost ground in Pennsylvania, so yeah, it's not, excuse me, not looking good for the person in this state. Also, JHK forecast, they give Biden a 90% chance of winning Pennsylvania. This model was very accurate in 2018 and 2016. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing Pennsylvania be universally characterized as lead and give Biden the advantage. And even Red Eagle Politics said Biden was going to win Pennsylvania by a tilt margin, which is really interesting. All right, so now we're going to go over, that's it actually. Okay, so now for the Republican lean states, I'm not budging on Iowa. Iowa, some people think, could be a tilt or even a blue win, JHK forecasts, but I'm not budging on Iowa. Iowa is a very rural state, and it's very white, and Trump's approval isn't horrible there. Let's see, civics, yeah, so it's not horrible. -7, but again, this is Donald Trump that we're talking about, so it's not a bad sign for him. Well, it is, but still. I'm not going to count him out in Iowa, and I think he'll win. Now, Teresa Greenfield does have a decent shot at winning her Senate race, but yeah, I think it'll stay in the lead column, as will Nebraska's 2nd district, which is not very diverse. It is urban, but again, when you have a very bad Senate candidate for the Democrats in Nebraska, it's only going to hurt them, and it kind of jeopardizes their shot at winning their 2nd district. Now, JHK forecast, I believe, puts Biden ahead in Nebraska's 2nd district. I can find, yeah, Nebraska 02, Biden plus 2.6. That's certainly something to watch, but I don't think that he'll win. He could, but I don't think he'll win. Okay, now we're going to go over to, y'all go to Georgia. So Georgia, how do I say this? Georgia could be a Biden win. And I know JHK forecast says Biden is at 56% of 55% chance of winning Georgia. I am not believing that. Georgia is going to be very close for sure, but it's not going to go to Joe Biden. Now, good news for the Democrats is that Stacey Abrams, even though there was voter suppression, she still barely lost that race in 2018. They do have some good, interesting candidates down ballot, like John Ossoff or Raphael Warnock running for Senate. And they also did make big gains in the House in 2018. They also didn't do as bad as they did across the country in 2016. Georgia did only barely vote to the right of the country. And Hillary Clinton, she made that race very competitive, and she's Hillary Clinton. So, yeah, that's very good news for the Democrats. However, there is going to be voter suppression, as I said, and Brian Kemp, who is a very good voter suppressionist, unfortunately, is going to be the governor. She's the governor of Georgia, and there is a Republican Secretary of State. So that means not good news for the Democrats, and there's probably not going to be a fair election in Georgia. But it'll still be close because this is a swing state, and this uh, and this will be a high turnout year for the Democrats for sure. Civics does put Biden or put Trump underwater in Georgia, but I don't think that he will lose it. So, yeah, that's it for the lean states. Now, tilt states, we're going to go over to Wisconsin, where, yeah, the polling. Oh, by the way, I'll show you guys the Georgia polls. See where, yeah, Biden plus four. Warnock, that's, well, although it is against Kelly Loeffler, so, yeah. Oh, okay, here's the poll. So, Warnock, um, alrighty, so yeah, that's interesting. So Biden plus two, Biden plus four plus three. So yeah, overall, I don't think that we're going to see a victory for the Democrats in Georgia. Now, we are going to go to Wisconsin, which is by many, and I agree with these people, considered to be of the Rust Belt states that went to Trump, the big three that were surprisingly going for Trump. Um, that uh, the general consensus, sorry, is that Wisconsin is going to be the closest of the three, and I agree with them. And yeah, the polls do put Biden ahead. I mean, Biden plus 17, Biden plus 9, plus 17, plus 11, plus 1, plus 8, or Trump plus 1. But the net is a lean margin for the Democrats. So yeah, however, it'll be close. And again, Wisconsin being filled with a lot of non-college educated voters did vote a Democratic senator into the Senate by 11 points in 2018, and they did flip the governor's seat there, even though the Republican governor was still unpopular. But still, I don't expect Wisconsin to go for Trump. See what JHK forecast has to say. Yeah, they gave Biden an 82.5% chance of winning there. I think that's a little generous, but I still think he'll carry it. Okay, now we're going to go to the state of North Carolina, which is going to go to the Democrats by a tilt margin. Okay, so now here's the good news for Trump. He won in 2016 by a bigger margin than he won Georgia, I believe. The bad news is he has a bad approval there. He, again, nationwide approval only 40%. He's hitting a really low point right now. So he has a bad approval there. So the bad news is he has a bad approval there. He only has a 75, or Biden has a 75.5% chance of winning it according to the JHK forecast. The polling is really ugly for Donald Trump. It's not New York. I don't know. North Carolina, Biden plus 4, Cunningham plus 8. And I do think that Cal Cunningham will outperform Joe Biden plus 7, plus 10 for Cunningham. And, oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. So, yeah. So all the pollings and all the data suggests that Biden will, and chances are, for the first time in a very long time, we're probably going to be seeing a fair election in North Carolina. And North Carolina does have a Democratic governor, Roy Cooper, who's up for re-election this year as well, and in a Democratic Secretary of State. That means there's going to be no voter suppression there, and that it'll be a fair election, which is good news for the Democrats, very good news. And those are critical positions. Okay, now we're going to go to Florida, which will be tilt for the Democrats as well. Even in a landslide blue year, it was still a lean state. It'll be tilt because, again, in 2018, Florida did vote to the right of the country. I mean, Bill Nelson, who was a pretty popular incumbent senator, he lost to Rick Scott in that Senate race, and Ron DeSantis, even though the polls favored Gillum by a lot, he still won the governorship and came from behind. So yeah, I expect Florida to go to Biden because, again, the older vote went to Donald Trump by a huge margin in 2016. He'll still win it, but again, a lot of voters are turning away from him, especially in the Panhandle, which has been a very historically red region of Florida. Also, I think we're going to be seeing higher minority turnout, which is very good news for the Democrats. Although there could be some voter suppression, I haven't heard of voters. Well, I believe that there was Florida voter suppression in the 2018 governor's race, but I'm not sure about it. Yeah, but there is going to be voter suppression in Georgia, and in Mississippi, and Alabama, and South Carolina. But Florida probably. Right. And lastly, New Hampshire for the tilt states. Now, I originally characterized this as a lean state. However, I'm starting to realize that Joe Biden, he did very poorly in the primary. He lost, or he among the moderate candidates, he came in third place behind Amy Klobuchar. Sorry, behind Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg. So yeah. Plus, there are a lot of Bernie boys in New Hampshire who could actually stay home. There was a poll and it said that only 60% of them were 100% going to go for Biden. 20% were considering staying home, and then 10%, and then 15% were undecided, and then 5% were going to vote third party. So yeah, not going to vote for Biden in New Hampshire. But again, some of those undecided Bernie bros are going to go for Biden. So yeah. All right, so the last tilt states, starting with Ohio, I originally characterized this as a lean in, sometimes likely red state, but at this point in time, it's a tilt state because uh, the polling average does put Biden ahead there, barely though. Biden plus one, plus two, House a poll plus three, plus one. So yeah, all these polls. Back in March, they had Trump ahead, but that was against Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders would have probably not done too well in Ohio. Oh, then there's the poll for the Democratic primary, Biden plus 48. Yeah, so we're probably not going to see. And Biden did win a landslide victory there, even though, yeah. So we're probably not going to see Biden flipping it, even though JHK forecast says it'll be the closest state. I highly doubt that. I don't think it'll be that. I think that close state could be New Hampshire, could be Wisconsin, could be North Carolina. But again, I highly doubt that Ohio's going to go to the Republicans. Even though the data suggests that Biden is going to pull it off of there, my brain is telling me that Trump's going to narrowly win it. Same with Maine second district. It's a very urban region, or not urban, rural, which is good news for the Republicans. Not very diverse, not on college educated voters, and I think that this district is, I think, trending to the right very far. Now, I know in 2018, Jared, I'm forgetting his name, Jared. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. There was a congressman who won Maine's second district. He flipped that seat in 2018. It was, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Maine O2 congressman. It's Jared something. Jared Golden, that's who it is. My bad. So yeah, Jared Golden. He did win it. He's a Democrat, but I think it'll flip to Eric Brakey. And honestly, I don't see it going to the Democrats anytime soon. So yeah, that's the prediction. Tell me what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you all later tonight, where the Delaware prediction is coming out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow or today.